Hello everybody, this is Starman and welcome back to Let's Play the Pandora Directive. Well, last time you'll remember we saved Emily from the Black Arrow Killer, or a reasonable facsimile of him at any rate. We noticed that he dropped something on the roof and we picked up a tracking device of some type. And now we're going to head to street level to use it.
The tracking device should work fine down here.
Yeah, let's test that theory.
What's the tracking device?
And I skipped through text repeating what he says every time you look at the tracking device, but that beeping noise will get faster and louder the closer we get to where it is. Cold. Somewhat faster over this way. But logically, Rook said that he heard something behind his shop. Yeah, it seems to be beeping faster here. Over by the manhole. Ah, getting quite toasty now. Hey.
I wonder what's hidden inside this wall. The brick looks like it should come loose, but I can't get my fingers under it to move it.
Well, luckily we just happened to find this handy chisel earlier. And the beeping stopped.
A nice brick. Whoa, a small device is attached to the box. I'd better take a closer look before I do anything rash.
Claiborne. Wonder if that's anything like Claymore.
Oh, it's a Claiborne mine. I've read about these. To deactivate it, the red photons must be transferred to the left, and vice versa for the green. They're transferred by using the small shuttle that has 3 black stripes on it and is now on the red side. The transfer chamber must be powered by a red or green power cell, which is lighter color than the others. Red or green photons can be in the same chamber and in the shuttle, but if there's more of one color than the other, it creates an imbalance, and the shuttle won't transfer.
Which is a damn silly way to set up a mine disarming device. I mean, in the whole idea of mines that they can't be disabled easily. Okay, but this is a fairly simple puzzle, at least for this game. It's a variation on the old puzzle about the man crossing the river with the goat, the wolf, and the basket full of cabbages. So we start off with as many of the red as we can get in, and transfer that across to here. And then do the same thing with the green. Now the colors have to balance out, so we take the green power cell and 1 red. And ferry it across. Then we take the red power cell and a green one, transfer it across. And then that leaves us with enough to take all the red that are left. And then we just take all the greens that are left. And hey, we got in the minimum number of moves. 124 completion points. And now we're free to take the box.
This box has holes drilled all over the top. I'll need to find whatever goes in those holes in order to get this box open.
Alright. Well, with that accomplished, I think it's time to check around the neighborhood and reap the hero's rewards.
Hey, let me buy you a drink, mate.
Polite acceptance, why? An obscure reason to celebrate.
What's the occasion?
I heard you saved that girl up at the Flamingo. The least I can do for our local hero is to buy him a drink.
Politely ask for more information, modesty, looking for leverage. Let's go with modesty.
She and I, we both got lucky.
Listen, mate, if you don't give yourself credit, no one else will. So what else can I do for you?
Well, let's see if we have anything else we can ask him about. I don't think Louis is going to offer any insight into the puzzle box, but what the heck.
Out of my league on that one.
And let's go pester Rook.
So, you saved the girl at the Flamingo and caught the man who attacked her. So I suppose you think you're some sort of a big shot.
You said it, mock humility.
Yeah, damn straight. Now maybe you give me the respect I deserve.
Respect? Bah! You may have everyone else fooled, but I know dumb luck when I see it. I suppose you want me to help you again.
Well, actually, as long as we're here, there is one thing we can do.
I need to redeem this receipt.
Redeem this receipt.
You didn't pawn this.
Well, how much is it? Look, I'm willing to pay extra.
$200. Yep, plus $50 for it not being your receipt.
Okay.
Well, I hope my new purchase will help me out.
And exit about to the avenue. Okay, sorry for the rather sudden jump cut there. The game crashed right as I was heading across the street to go to the Ritz. First time I've had this game crash on me since I downloaded it from Good Old Games. But thankfully, this particular game had a feature where if it suddenly crashed, it would automatically restore you to the last time that you left a location or entered a location before the game crashed. So we're back on Chandler Avenue with our nice new dagger.
So this is the item Malloy pawned. I'm no expert, but this thing looks pretty ancient. Wonder where it came from.
And I wonder since when has Rook started purchasing ancient Aztec artifacts? Well, okay, not Aztec. What's the other one? Well, we'll get it later. But, you know, ancient artifacts of any South American peoples. Or Central American peoples. Or, you know, okay, ancient artifacts. We'll say ancient artifacts. And heck, let's see if Nilo has anything to say. Whoa, wait a minute.
Uncle Sam wants to see you.
Oh man, this isn't about those parking tickets.
Shut up.
All right. My new acquaintance is a good deal less cordial than the police were earlier. I'm thrown into the back of a black Avatar speeder. A few minutes later, we fly into the industrial sector and land by a familiar building. Autotech. I'm led inside, straight to Jackson Cross's office.
Welcome, Mr. Murphy. Please make yourself comfortable. Do you know where you are?
And yeah, we're going to want to be as businesslike as possible with this. Not just because, well, you know, the obvious reason you want to be respectful of government agents, but also because these guys do not have much of a sense of humor, and they will kill you if you smart off too much. So let's just state the obvious.
In your office?
That's correct. Do you know who I work for?
Afraid irresponsible past is finally caught up.
Well, if it's about that student loan, I think you and I could work out a reasonable payment schedule.
This guy's a real joker, isn't he? Mr. Murphy, did you ever hear of the Graham Act? That's an executive order that was enacted about 40 years ago when the United States was having trouble with terrorist groups. It gives our agency carte blanche when dealing with internal security matters. So don't dick with me, Murphy. I'll pull out my gun and blow your face off.
And yeah, it's a little eerie because this game did come out in about 95, 96. So this clearly happened before, 9/11, 2001. But the timeline just about works out. This game being set in 2043. So about 40 years ago, Graham Act is eerily close to the Patriot Act. And, the NSA was not nearly as powerful an organization back in the 90s as it became. Of course, officially, I don't think they're this powerful either, but that's official, unofficial. Yeah, so this game, weirdly enough, kind of predicted the future in an eerie way. Well, okay, we still don't have the flying cars and mutation and World War III and all that, but just that one aspect of it. Anyway, enough social commentary. Let's get to the point.
Well then, I guess you work for the NSA.
Bravo! Give the man a big cigar. Now to the next question. Do you know why you're here?
At a total loss, suspicious of commitment, make a good guess, and an excuse.
Are you trying to recruit me?
Well, let me refresh your memory. You remember the other night, up on the roof? The man you threw off was an NSA agent.
I didn't throw him off the roof. I can't help it if you hire clumsy people.
Your actions contributed to the death of an NSA agent, not to mention the small matter of interfering with an NSA investigation. Now you've got 1 minute to tell me all you know, or you'll find yourself the latest victim of the Graham Act.
Now let's see. Tell part of the story, tell the whole story, exercise a privilege. Yeah, I don't think this is the time to go pleading the Fifth Amendment, and you're a detective. You never tell them the whole story, so part of the story.
A girl hired me to find out who was stalking her. I kept an eye on her place. I saw your guy in her apartment. I chased him to the roof. He pulled out a gun. He tried to shoot me. We struggled and he fell.
We've known for some time that high-level drug deals were going on at the Fuchsia Flamingo. That night, a shipment of euphoria was to be delivered. We had our agent at the girl's apartment to make the bust. Her life was never in any danger. You screwed up. I know that you're still holding something back. What is it?
Let's see. Pretend you've come clean, ask for leniency, tell the whole story. Yeah, whole story, bad idea. Pretending I'm done. Gonna be bad if they question me further, so let's go for the mercy that we're probably not gonna get.
Look, I didn't ask to get mixed up in this case. I'm just a small-time PI. And all I want to do right now is get out of your hair and go back to doing what people do when they're alive.
So that's it. There's nothing more you want to tell me.
Eager to leave, pay a nice compliment, let him in on the box. Well, they've been probably looking for the box too. They probably know I have it, so...
Oh, well, there is one more thing. Your agent found a small metal box at the Flamingo.
So you do have it. You should have said so in the first place. Now, do you want to tell us where it is?
Let's see, hand it over, bargain, keep it for insurance. It's the only thing I've got, so...
Will you cut me a deal?
Oh, I'm not much of one for compromises, Mr. Murphy. Get me the box. I'll see what kind of mood I'm in.
Okay, trying to make a deal, keep it for insurance. Let's hand it over.
I've got it right here. Take it.
So you bid us to the box. You impress me, Murphy. I'm gonna do you the favor of a lifetime. I'm gonna let you walk. But if I catch you meddling in NSA affairs one more time, I'm gonna put a bullet right in your eyeball. Is that clear? Get this puke head out of my office. I'll be watching you, Murphy.
Yeah, this is good. You can drop me anywhere along here.
We will.
Well, they did drop me off.
The NSA thugs are courteous enough to drop me off back at the Ritz. When I get to my apartment, I notice the door is slightly ajar. The government boys probably spent some time in my office looking for the box. Hello.
I hope you don't mind. The door was open.
Well, I hope I didn't keep you waiting too long.
Nice place you got here. Decorate it yourself?
No. My housekeeper just started on Prozac.
Have a seat.
Well, thank you.
So, aren't you gonna thank me?
You pulled my chestnuts out of the fire the other night, didn't you? I
Last
didn't get
night.
a chance to thank you because you left so quickly. I want to know why you did it.
Oh, I'm sure you have women doing all kinds of crazy things just to get your attention.
You don't know me very well, do you? When a woman pays attention to me, generally I'm so stunned, I don't do anything about it.
I doubt that very much. So you drink bourbon, huh?
Yeah, I can afford it.
Yamas.
Yamas. Sounds Greek to me.
That's Greek to everybody.
I knew that. Mm-hmm. So, Ms.
Madsen. Regan Madsen. But I'd prefer you call me Regan.
Okay, Regan. You can call me Tex.
That's not your real name. What is it?
You wouldn't believe me if I told you.
Try me.
Sorry. I gotta know somebody pretty thoroughly before I come clean on that one.
Well, then, maybe you should get to know me pretty thoroughly. So where's the box?
Box. Yeah, I got lots of boxes. What size do you need?
You know what I'm talking about.
I do not.
You like to play games, Tex. So do I. What's your angle?
I don't have an angle, Miss Madsen. My business is my own. I don't have a partner, and I don't like small talk. You're a very beautiful woman. Extremely beautiful woman. But that doesn't make any difference as far as I'm concerned.
Tough, too. I have a proposition for you. First of all, you should know, I didn't just stumble into this part of town by accident. I've been looking for somebody.
And who might that be?
Thomas Malloy.
I gotta find out about this guy. He knows all the beautiful women in town.
He's my father.
Ooh.
I heard you were asking around about him, and I thought I'd see what you found out.
You said something about boxes.
Still playing the game? My father sent out several boxes lately. The NSA was closing in on him and he started to panic. I'm not exactly sure what was in the boxes or however many he sent out, but whoever finds all those boxes is going to come into an ungodly amount of money.
So what's your proposition?
I've already got one of the boxes. You give me the one you have, and I'll cut you in on the deal. Help me locate the others, and we'll have more money than you ever imagined. That's my proposition, plain and simple. You'll probably want some time to think this over. Why don't you call me at this number when you're ready to talk? Don't lose that number, Tex. I think we'd make a perfect fit.
Well, Regan Madsen sure knows how to make a first impression. The question is she on the level? There's no way to know if she's really Malloy's daughter or if she knows any more about the boxes than I do. I wonder if Fitzpatrick has any knowledge of the boxes, or Regan for that matter. There's a lot more involved here than just tracking down an old friend, and I'm right in the middle of it.
Well, we're usually in the middle of it. Well, let's check out her note. And just a phone number, so now we can call Regan on the phone. And the video there gave us a little bit of a hint as to where to go next. Because this all got started with us getting hired by a client who we haven't spoken to in a few days.
Hello, Mr. Murphy. How are your efforts progressing?
I have a few leads. Called to see if you could give me some additional information.
I'll be happy to tell you anything I know.
Let's see. Might as well start with the standard, see if he has anything new to say.
As I've said, I haven't seen my friend for years, and I don't believe I have any additional information that would help you locate him.
Okay, let's ask about Regan.
Thomas had a daughter named Regan. She was very young when I knew her in China. I can't say that this Regan Madsen is Thomas's daughter.
Well, at least we know that that part's true. Of course, that picture of a young girl that we found in Malloy's apartment had the name Regan on it. So somebody else could have found that.
Intriguing. If you find this puzzle box, I'd like to have a look at it.
And just call it a hunch.
The NSA is a dangerous group. I've dealt with them before, and I have no desire to do it again. But I fear we may have no choice. The name is new to me. I can't place the name.
Okay, so wherever Gus and Malloy knew each other doesn't have anything to do with them.
If I'm any judge of character, I think our arrangement will be extremely beneficial.
And I don't think we're going to get anything from him about anybody else. So let's go back to checking around the neighborhood. And weird how we got jumped going into the lobby, but it made it look like we were going to our office.
Saw that little senorita came by to visit you. Tasty little keister.
Yeah, thanks for that.
I ain't familiar with that name. She's the one who sings over at the Flamingo. She's been in here before. I got a few things in mind for her.
Okay, well, nothing useful there. But the hopes weren't high to begin with. And let's see if Clint has anything to say about us saving the day.
I heard you saved Emily the other night. She's a real nice girl. I guess you're not as big a bonehead as I thought.
Tongue-in-cheek response, exemplary humility, snappy comeback.
My friend, I was just doing my job, and I'm nothing too special.
I didn't say you were special, did I? What's on your mind?
Well, as long as we're here.
Ah, the NSA. When I was a kid, my mom used to say the NSA would get me if I didn't do my chores.
Fascinating, but,
Ever heard of her?
there wasn't much hope there either. Still kind of fun to see how everybody reacts to stuff, and, you know, actually, we should probably go have words with Crazy Gary about him helping out, you know, the NSA.
I better go back and check up on Rusty's roof.
Yeah, we already did that.
And in a vision, a cow. You cannot know the depth of my shame when I learned that I had, albeit unintentionally, abetted a criminal. I prostrate myself before you, metaphorically, and restate unequivocally my willingness to rejoin any and all of your queries.
Sounds good to me.
Okay, I have absolutely nothing useful to learn from you anymore, though, I think.
No?
No. Well, that just leaves the victim herself to talk to.
Come on in. Glad you came by. Have you had any problems with the cops?
No, nothing serious.
You want a drink?
Sure.
Bourbon. Straight up, right?
Right. How'd you guess?
Physiognomy. It's a hobby of mine. You can tell almost anything about a person by their facial features.
So I guess I have a bourbon face.
Something like that. Listen, Murphy, I've got to apologize for the other night. See, that note that Emily got shook me up pretty bad. Though, you know, I didn't want her to know I was worried.
Well, don't sweat it. I guess I kind of have a distrustful face. Of course, that'd be your department.
Well, I do want to thank you. You saved Emily's life.
So she's okay?
She's pretty rattled. But she isn't hurt. You know, if you'd come in any later than you did. She's upstairs, sleeping it off.
I'm fine, Gus. I couldn't sleep anymore. Gus told me what you did. I don't know how to thank you.
Well, I guess we cut it pretty close, but I'm glad you're okay.
Thanks.
Listen, Emily, it's not too much trouble. I'd like to ask you a few more questions.
Come on, Murphy. She's been through enough already. Cops grilled her last night. Let's let it rest for a while.
It's okay, Gus. I owe him. A couple more questions isn't gonna hurt me. Go ahead, Tex.
She's remarkably well dressed for somebody who apparently just got out of bed. I mean, you know, the earrings alone. Alright, well, start with the obvious one.
Thomas is my husband.
Pardon me for being stupid, but let me get this straight. You're Thomas Malloy's wife?
Yeah, we were married about a year ago.
So where's your husband?
I don't know.
Well, do you have any idea why he doesn't want you to know where he is?
No. He just said it'd be better for me. Safer for me. I honestly don't know why he left. That's Thomas's daughter. She hates my guts. But I have no idea why.
Okay, so she's met Regan, so that's lending her story a little more credibility.
This is Thomas, all right. I'm so worried about him. He doesn't look well, does he?
The man who attacked you last night took something from your apartment. Looked like a small box. Do you know what it was?
No. I mean, I don't know what was in it. I couldn't figure out how to open it.
How'd you get it?
Well, Thomas sent it to me. I don't know why anyone would want it.
How did it arrive?
Through some delivery service. It was wrapped in plain brown wrapper.
How'd you know Thomas sent it to you?
Well, I recognized the handwriting on the outside of the wrapper. It was just plain brown paper. I threw it out, I guess. I don't know where it is.
We're gonna have to go dumpster diving again, aren't we?
I really don't know too many people around here.
Okay, so she doesn't know about the alias Malloy was using.
Sorry. Did you ask Gus?
Yeah, doesn't know the name of the guy who attacked her.
I heard Thomas mention that, but I don't know much about it. Gus bought this place last year. He spent a lot of time and money fixing it up. When it was done, he couldn't afford to hire a house band, so I said I'd sing for him. It's not a very glamorous name. When I make it big, I'll change it to something more exciting.
That was a little random, freaky grin.
Oh, that's just a silly name Gus came up with. He didn't want anyone around here knowing my real name.
And we've now lost Lucy Love as a conversation option.
I haven't heard much about you, except that you're a good PI.
And what the heck, let's run through everything.
I think she's the girl who works at a newsstand across the street. Louis owns a diner down the street. The stew and... I don't remember. I'm not very good with names.
Well, she's had the good fortune not to have to deal with Rook.
Oh, I met Clint. He has a chocolate stand up at the Coit Tower. He always gives me samples for free. I really don't know too many people around here.
Okay, never met, well, of course, we know from talking to Fitzpatrick that he didn't know about the wife.
Sorry. Did you ask Gus? He's the pig that works at the Ritz Hotel. When Thomas was staying there, I used to go visit. Nilo always made me feel cheap, the way he looked at me. Gus is an old friend. He's always taken good care of me. He was one of those cops that questioned me. He smelled like soy sauce. I'm not very good with names.
And I think that's all we're going to get from Emily.
Actually, I'm feeling really beat. I'm gonna go back to bed. I'll see you guys later.
She's a real trooper, isn't she?
Yeah. Murphy, I really owe you. You ever need a favor? Just name it.
Thanks. Keep that in mind. Right now, I need as much information as I can get about Malloy.
I'll tell you what I know.
All right, well.
If I knew where he was, I'd tell you. But I haven't heard from him for almost a month.
All right.
I think I threw it out in the dumpster behind the club. It might still be there. Doesn't sound familiar. Yeah, that's Malloy. Looks like it was taken recently. I checked out the box Emily received, but I couldn't figure out how to open it. I don't know him. I read the paper. It's about the only mutant-run publication in the city. Doesn't sound familiar. Don't know. I don't know him.
No surprise there.
Doesn't sound familiar. I've heard it's the most powerful agency in the government. A couple things Malloy told me made me think they're after him for some reason. He was one of the cops that questioned me and Emily. Can't say much else about him. I think she's going to be okay. She's pretty resilient. Let's talk about something more interesting. I've always wanted to own a nightclub. I've put my heart and soul into this place. Any business you can send my way, I'd really appreciate. I don't know him.
You're lucky.
Doesn't sound I don't know him. Emily has a weak spot for chocolate, so we've gotten to know Clint pretty well. He's a strange one. I bought a few things from the pawn shop when I was decorating the club. Bargaining with Rook is like removing a splinter. That's the big guy who runs the diner, right? Seems real friendly. And he makes some tasty grub. I gave Chelsea a complimentary membership. She's the kind of person I like to have in the club. You seem like a decent guy. I think we'll get along fine. As long as you keep your hands off Emily.
Alright, well, we got some brown paper to go look at. And that noise is not me, that is in fact in the game. Huh.
That looks like it could be the brown paper wrapper from the package Malloy sent to Emily. It's snagged up on the light post, though.
Oh gee, if only we had a 10-foot pole to reach it with.
Oh, there's no return address or name. There has to be something here that will give me a lead to Malloy. Maybe I need to take a closer look.
A closer look, you say? That sounds like a cue to use our visual analyzing apparatus.
So, the microdot on the wrapper contains a PB meter number. Probably some kind of postal code. Must identify which post office the package was sent from. Now I just need to find someone who would know which post office that is.
And that is the last we'll need the photo analyzer for. At least I hope that's the case, because now it's out of our inventory forever. And we'll go ahead and do a quick save here. But yeah, only person I can think of who might be any help at all in looking up a code like that would be my buddy the cop.
What can I do for you, Murphy?
Well, as long as I'm here, why not?
She came down to the station and asked about you. It's a good thing she vouched for you, too, or you might still be a guest here.
That's the code for the post office in the Mission District.
Amazing how he knew that off the top of his head, but it does give us a location.
I land my speeder outside the post office Mac referred me to. The counter help fails to live up to its name, but a professional loiterer working outside seems to recognize Malloy in the photo. For half a pack of smokes, he suggests I check out several boarding houses in the area. After pounding the pavement for over an hour, I arrive at a quaint brownstone called the Garden House.
Well, we say we arrive, but we still have to click to travel there.
Hello there. What can I do for you?
Let's see. Get down to brass tacks. Little white lie, big black lie. Let's go for honesty.
Looking for a man named Thomas Malloy. Is he staying here?
Let me think. No, none of my guests is named Malloy.
Hand over the photo, mention the alias, use force. Photo is the easiest way to go.
Here's a photograph of him.
Oh, heavens, yes. He moved in last week. Such a nice man.
Well, I know he seems very nice, but he's really a sick man. You know, nuts. He's got a terrible case of Murphy Bar syndrome.
My goodness, he seems so lucid.
Let's see. Dealing with the symptoms, agree reluctantly, cut to the chase.
Yes, it's a strange illness. The only symptoms are an irresistible attraction to boarding houses, and of course, compulsive lying. When he has a relapse, it's like pulling teeth to get a straight answer out of it.
I'm so sorry.
Let's see. Get up on a pedestal, break down with grief, show complete insensitivity. What the heck, pedestal?
Well, I know that respecting and caring for your elders is considered old-fashioned, but it's a responsibility that I take very seriously.
Wish you, my nephew. Your uncle's not in right now, but I'll let you into his room. You can wait for him up there. Okie dokie?
All right.
Well, his bedspread's the most startling thing in the whole room. A nice tree. The wood from this could get quite a blaze going in the fireplace.
What fireplace? That fireplace, and yeah, this is the fanciest boarding house room I've ever seen.
Nice fireplace. All I need now is a stack of wood and Jane Mansfield.
If I had Jane Mansfield, I'd have a stack of wood.
This plant looks well cared for. The landlady must give it lots of love. Well, that's a handsome antique chair. Now the lights keep this room nicely lit.
I wish I were nicely lit right now. I know, I'm making up for the wisecracks now since I've been having to stay quiet for so many movies.
A book of puzzles. Maybe it has some word searches in it. I love word searches. A book of puzzles.
And we will grab this.
A special wall-mounted lamp illuminating 2 mediocre photographs. I hope whoever took these photos hasn't given up their day job. I hope whoever took these photos hasn't... Nice painting, if you go for dull landscapes. Yeah, it's just a basic desk lamp. A solid maple roll-top desk. I'd kill for a desk like this. Well, maybe I just maim somebody.
All right.
Cosmic Connection magazine. I seem to remember Fitzpatrick saying something about this. Looks like a business card.
All right, well, let's go and examine all these real quick. Everlock titanium safes. That's some kind of a serial number there.
I remember Fitzpatrick telling me about the Cosmic Connection magazine. Looks like a sci-fi rag to me. A collection of the Bay City Mirror's daily anagram puzzles. If I ever really get stuck on an anagram, at least I've got a connection at the newspaper. Nothing to find here. Nothing to find here. These drawers look certain. Nothing to find.
Okay, nothing there.
Nothing to find here.
Okay, right in the middle. There's something.
It's an envelope addressed to someone named Elijah Witt. These drawers look.
Let's see, envelope addressed to Witt. And Malloy's disc.
A disc? I'll bet whatever's on here will get me a lead. I can run it on the computer back at the office. Looks like the closet door. It's all locked up.
Anything up on the mantle? not so much. I think that's all we can do here, so let's head back to the office. And go right to Tex's computer room. Of course, we don't have a security code into this. Didn't work. Okay, let's, maybe we did not get everything back at the garden house, so let's try going back there. And that was not on the chair last time.
This pair of jeans wasn't here before. I guess Malloy must have come back and then left again.
We're going to be playing phone tag for a while, aren't we? He wears jeans, though. He's one of those hippie professors. Rental receipt.
This warehouse address is 54 Front Street. That's in the waterfront area.
Then why isn't it Waterfront Street? I think we'll go ahead and save here.
Dr. Thomas Malloy, I presume.
You're NSA, aren't you?
No, sir, I'm not NSA. My name's Tex Murphy, and I'm a private investigator. I was hired by a friend of yours.
I don't have any friends, Mr. Murphy.
Well, what about Gordon Fitzpatrick?
Fitz. Good old Fitz. I wonder why he sent you after me.
Are you all right?
Give me some water, will you? Thanks. I've led an excessive life, and I'm afraid the bill is coming due. Now listen, Murphy. What I'm going to tell you could help Fitzpatrick continue my work. The only catch is I'll put you in the same danger I'm in.
Don't let that stop you. Danger's a little like Jell-O. Always room for a little more.
Ever hear of Project Blue Book?
Sounds familiar.
Have you ever heard of Roswell?
Yeah. About 100 years ago, there was an apparent UFO crash. And the government came out and said it was just a weather balloon.
A weather balloon? It was no damn weather balloon. It was a spacecraft. The Roswell incident was the greatest disinformation campaign of all time.
So what was the connection between Roswell and Project Blue Book?
Well, Roswell is where Project Blue Book became Project Blueprint. Now, you probably never heard about it, seeing as how you're still alive.
Why do I have the feeling you're about to lower my odds in that department? Do you mind?
In 1947, an alien spacecraft crashed in the desert outside Roswell, New Mexico. The wreckage was taken to the Air Force Base nearby for testing. And of course, they were looking for weapons.
Sounds like the military hasn't changed too much. If you don't mind me asking, Doctor, how do you fit into all of this?
In 1984, I came on board Project Blueprint. My job was to carry on the work of deciphering the hieroglyphics found in the spacecraft. Anyway, in early 1996, word of a breakthrough spread throughout the complex. Now, apparently someone had discovered that one of the alien instruments could generate minute quantities of anti-hydrogen. The big boys in Washington were ecstatic. Now, if you remember, the desert standoff was in effect, and we were looking for a technological edge over the Middle East bloc. Now, we had it in the palm of our hands. But unfortunately, as you know, things went very wrong.
That's the understatement of the century.
Well, the military was in such a hurry, they didn't take time to do any testing. Instead, they started a political incident, then proceeded to bomb the hell out of the Middle East.
Greatest snafu in history.
Now, after the war, I left the military, but I managed to smuggle out all my notes and other important items from Roswell. And I secretly continued my research.
Okay, Malloy, don't move! I said freeze! Don't be stupid. Put it down! Look, I'm supposed to bring you back alive, not in a body bag. Think so. No! Back off. Back off! My orders were to bring in Malloy alive. But I guess that doesn't apply to you, does it?
Oh, in that case. You mind?
Yeah. That may have been the worst generic thug line reading I've seen in anything. But we made it to day 5, the Pandora device.
I'd found Malloy just in time to watch him take a bullet. I wasn't sure whether that qualified as solving the case or not. Either way, I had to tell Fitzpatrick the bad news. He comes by my office, and I fill him in on what's happened. Second agent opened fired.
No!
Killed him. I barely got out of it alive. So for the next few minutes, I relate the events that led up to finding Malloy. But it's clear that his death is only part of the reason for Fitzpatrick's reaction. He's been withholding information from me since the beginning. Now it's time to find out what he knows about Malloy's work.
An unfortunate turn of events. Extremely unfortunate. Well, I guess this brings our partnership to an end. What do I owe you?
I think you owe me some details.
To what do you refer?
Look, Malloy was onto something big. He was just about to tell me until someone turned him into a corkboard. I want to know what happened. But most of all, I want to know what's going on here.
No, don't get into it. Forget this business. Take the money and walk away.
It's too late. I'm already involved. Now 1, possibly 3 NSA agents are dead. And for some strange reason, they're going to think that I'm involved with all this. And even if I wanted to drop out right now, the odds are they're going to find me and fill me with so much lead, they're going to be able to use me as a pencil. But aside from that, Malloy was onto something big. And those boxes are the key.
You know about the boxes?
Oh, yeah.
Well, that puts a different light on things, doesn't it?
I told you about the boxes yesterday.
Well, if you insist on staying with this, becoming involved, as you say, I've got to be able to be sure that I can rely on you, trust you. You know, this isn't the kind of thing that you can sort of dabble in and then back away.
Well, normally I do have a little problem with commitment. But on this, I'm in 100%.
All right. Thomas Malloy and I, scientific researchers, were working together in Roswell. And we became friends. Our friendship really developed when we were transferred to China after the great disaster of World War III. After some time, Malloy took me into his confidence and showed me what he'd been secretly working on, translating ancient alien hieroglyphics, taken from the crash of that Roswell spacecraft.
So you know what it is he was going to tell me?
No, I don't think so. Not really. I knew that he'd been, deciphering these ancient hieroglyphics, some of the symbols that were found there. The dominating symbol seemed to be, or the dominating information seemed to be, that there was a second spacecraft approaching the Earth. And there was a continuing, recurring symbol of a black sun. Mysterious. He didn't get that at all. That really bugged him.
Well, this is all really interesting. But it's not the kind of information somebody kills for.
Tex, screw your head on straight! I'm ready to believe there is a second spacecraft down somewhere on this planet Earth unfound. Now, imagine that spacecraft filled with a technology that none of us have ever dreamed of. Imagine what someone would do to obtain that technology. Imagine what the government would do. Wouldn't it be worth killing for?
You've got one of the boxes, don't you?
I do. Receiving it led me to believe that my friend's life was in danger.
Well, then you probably know more about the boxes than I do.
Variations on a Chinese puzzle box. Tom had maybe 4, 5, or 6 of them made to his specifications while he was in China. Just some kind of a novelty, I think.
Do you know how to open them?
No. Never occurred to me to ask. Now, what do you know about the boxes?
Well, I had one, and the NSA picked me up. They gave me a choice between giving them the box or having my brains blown out.
Recovering that box has got to be our first priority. Otherwise, I doubt we can continue.
That's not going to be easy. I'll see what I can do. Just one more thing. You talked a lot about trusting me. Why should I trust you?
Mr. Murphy, I have more money and other vanities than I could possibly ever use. My purpose in being here, at the center, if there is a center to all this, is to follow the trail towards which my old friend pointed me. I don't know where it will lead, but I intend to reach that end.
I guess we're in business. There's something about Fitzpatrick that makes me trust him totally, though I have been wrong in that area before. He knows about the boxes, same as Regan does, but their motivations seem to be worlds apart. I figure my best strategy is to stay right here on the middle ground. The fact of the matter is, I want to know what Malloy was going to tell me. That's my motivation. And the first step from here is to recover the box I handed over to the NSA.
Do you have a fax?
Hey, that's a
Do you have
first.
a fax?
And a phone message from the sound of it.
The 60-day warranty just ran out on my electronic shop fax machine. It should break down any minute now. Well, I'll be darned.
Let's see.
Looks like my suspicions were correct. Now I'll just have to find out why Horton was posing as the Black Arrow killer.
Let's see, Tex. I have it on good authority that Dag Horton was an NSA agent and worked under a supervisor named Jackson Cross. Neither agent was officially assigned to work in this part of the country. I am betting they have a little something going on the side. I hope this information helps. Not really. I kind of already met Jackson Cross and can pretty much confirm that Dag Horton was an NSA agent.
Sounds like I got a message on the vid phone.
Hey, Tex. I hate leaving a message, but it's so hard to catch at home. I'm enjoying my vacation, though, well, I'm already getting a little homesick. I hope everything's going well for you, and, well, I just wanted you to know I was thinking about you.
Well, that was a heartwarming reminder of what we're working for. And, yeah. This strikes me as being a good point to stop for now. So next time, we will try and figure out a way to break into the NSA's hideout again and start recovering that box. We'll see you next time.